Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the latest installment of the Thank You Bro podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Galloway, here with Will Glover. Will, say hi to the people.
Hello.
All right, well done.
Yeah,
well,
see,
we got
that one.
Yeah, I did that last week too. I know what you're doing. Well, we got a good slate of topics this week. We're going to start out with the MLB and give you a little bit of a postseason prediction as well. We're going to talk some NBA and college football, and then round things out with some NFL. Should make for a great episode, so stick around after the break.
After the break? All right.
Yeah, this is where you're going to put in the...
Where does the ad... Where are we getting this ad from? Do you have a sponsor? No?
Yeah,
all right,
I do.
Your silence is... Oh, okay, you do have a sponsor. Go ahead.
I do have a sponsor.
Explain that one.
Well, yeah,
Go ahead.
we'll just include it. We'll just include it later, and then it'll be like, oh, that's the sponsor. It's like, it's awesome.
Oh, okay. So
yeah,
I gotta write that down.
It's dramatic effect.
Sponsor. Okay. Well,
because the whole, the show, you want to talk sports. You want to talk sports, right? And that's what people are here for. But I think the presentation and the showmanship is such a huge aspect of this.
I mean, you're just adding like at least 45 minutes on video editing. At least.
That's fair.
This is
okay. Well,
on
then let's
me.
just carry on.
That's fine. I'll find an ad.
We can just carry on. No, it's fine.
Okay.
As long as I'm feeling like a valued member of this show. I mean, you're happy, I'm happy, right?
No, you're right.
No, it's okay.
I believe that you're. I believe that you should be valued as a 50% owner, maybe 49% owner of the Thank You Bro podcast. So, also, we need to start looking into the NHL because I do want to talk about that. We need to start. Sharpen up on that, but not this time. I'm not ready for that.
In 2 days, I can wear my new 100th anniversary Boston Bruins jersey.
It's
gonna be awesome.
Horrible, miserable. Did you at least get the authentic?
I did get the authentic. I spent the extra money.
Okay.
So I'm excited.
Yes, it's worth it. It is worth it. Good. All right. Well, not good for the team, but good you got an authentic one. Those are cool. All right. So starting into the MLB season, I know we haven't talked about it very much. I just want to kind of give a little review first off, because we haven't talked about it much, and I feel like our viewers don't really, or our listeners don't really pay attention to baseball. Personally, as a Cardinals fan, and Ryan, you as a Red Sox fan, it was hard to watch baseball this year. Red Sox were in it longer than the Cardinals were, but it overall just not the most fun season for me personally. I love the new rule changes and everything that they did, though. So baseball overall, plus baseball as a Cardinals and Red Sox fan, 10 thumbs down. But that being said, I want to first discuss the historic season from the Atlanta Braves, something we've never seen before. The Atlanta Braves cheating factory is here in full swing. We already know about the Astros cheating factory and the Brewers cheating factory, but the Atlanta Braves look great. Ryan, I'm not sure if you've paid attention to the Braves very much this year, but just overall, up all the way through the lineup, probably the most complete team in the last, probably since the 2004 Red Sox, I would have to say.
Wow. Well, that's a lofty comparison, and I haven't kept up too much with the Braves this year. I know they're winning a lot of games. I know that they've been very impressive. I know that top to bottom, they have great pitching, they have great bats, good defense in the field, obviously competent manager, which is
Snickers
a
good.
feeling that you and I don't really know right now, it's okay. It happens.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm not going to make this about the Red Sox. I could talk for hours about Alex Cora versus the front office, but I won't do that. But we can just carry on. I'm very impressed with the Braves. I haven't seen a ton this year, is my disclaimer, but what I've seen, I've been like, wow, that's a very good team from front office all the way out to the bullpen.
100%. Free Chime Bloom. And I mean, Atlanta front runners. I don't think they make it to the World Series though. I have Dodgers, but that's just my bias. I don't like the Braves. All right, I mean, that's fair. That's not
crazy to say.
Dodgers been hot, but it'll be a fun postseason for sure. Hopefully, the Astros or Rangers make the World Series. I want to go sneak down to a game maybe. We will see about that. Next on the agenda, I just want to discuss how impressed I am with the Baltimore Orioles, top to bottom. Another team that looks very good. looking for a deep postseason run. Now they have to face off against teams like the Astros. This is taken after the Rays just absolutely just melted down today. So I'm not sure. I'm not really hot on the Rays anymore. So maybe the Astros or Rangers. They look pretty good. Rangers are pretty thin. Of course, Jordan Montgomery is their ace, Cardinals legend right now because Scherzer won't be back until probably mid postseason if the Rangers make it. Rangers just injury riddled, but they're still playing well. Besides that, just disappointing seasons for teams like the Cardinals, Yankees, Red Sox, Mets, Padres, all teams that had postseason aspirations and really just collapsed. It was just disappointing to see, but they'll be back next year. There's a lot of good free agents. Pete Alonso's rumored to be headed to Chicago this free agency, so we'll see. Teams like the Cardinals and the Red Sox, for instance, need a huge arm in that starting rotation. It's just tough to watch. So I don't know, Ryan. You know what? I do like hearing your Red Sox opinion. So what do you think? What do you think the Red Sox have to do, because they've tried everything and nothing's worked for them?
Well, I think at this point we can say with confidence that Alex Cora will be back for next season. And the big issue with the Red Sox this year, 2021 hid a lot of issues but that were displayed this year. But I think that the main thing that people don't necessarily pay attention to unless you're very close to the team or close to, being a fan of the Red Sox, essentially, is that Alex Cora hated this team. He hated every move that Chaim Bloom made. It was like almost, and I'm not trying to exaggerate here, everything Alex Cora wanted for this team to look like, Bloom did the opposite. Yeah. He didn't get him the pitching he wanted, the depth, the bullpen, sent away all of our good players, all of our veterans. It was such a young team this year outside of Justin Turner, who got a standing ovation at the last game at Fenway. It was his first season with the team, and probably only season, unfortunately. I really liked him on the team, but
he was good.
He was one of the few bright spots this year. But where to begin? We need pitching. Plain and simple.
I feel like that's yeah.
I feel like that's a lot of teams. It is a lot of teams, but you don't know how frustrating it was for a lot of games this year. We would put up 10 runs, but we would give up 15.
I know how frustrating it was.
We had the bats for the most part. I think there's a lot of really exciting young talent being called up to the majors. That is the one thing I will say that Bloom did exceedingly well at, was building up the farm system. He did an excellent job with that. That's the only positive thing I have to say about his tenure. But we need an ace, first and foremost. We need relievers. You could have a starting pitcher go 5 good innings and then bring in a reliever to ruin it, or you would try to force something with any of our starters going 6-7 innings, and then that's when the wheels would fall off. They would lose their stamina and they would give up a lot of runs, and then by then it's too late. So that is the primary issue I saw this year that I want addressed.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I feel like that was a lot of teams. The Mets had the same issue. The Yankees, besides Garrett Cole, had the same problem. The Yankees had problems on everything. Cardinals, same issue. So pitching will be huge. Whoever signs the biggest arms in the offseason will most likely have a pretty good shot at winning the World Series next year. But enough about us being self-loathing Cardinals and Red Sox fans. I want to quickly talk about how rule changes in baseball have really just changed the game in a positive light. We've seen a whole lot of new records. We saw the first 40-70 season ever. Aristeide Uriz, 67 steals, an American League record for a rookie. The bigger bases, the faster pitch clock, the pickoff rules, it just makes baseball a lot more exciting, makes it faster, and honestly, it makes it more enjoyable than watching football at times, because I know, especially if you watch Monday night's game, Seahawks how the last minute of the game literally took 15 minutes. That was unbearable, and I was wanting to get stuff done, but I was focused on that. We could talk about that in a little bit though, on how that was an unfun game to watch all around. I know it was for you. Sorry, gamblers. Another loss in the fantasy record, but you'll
Yeah,
bounce
this is
back.
going to be my therapy
So
later.
real quick, I'm gonna kind of, Brian, I'm bumping you out of this, and we already agreed to that. I would kind of take lead on baseball. I'm going to give, and I really screwed up pronunciation there. I am going to give my award race predictions for all real quick. They're not too many, but some are hot takes. All right, because I factor more than just pure ability. So first off, for American League Cy Young, because I'm just kind of brushing over everything. I said I was going to do a baseball podcast earlier, but I didn't. But anyways, American League Cy Young, I have Felix Bautista of the Baltimore Orioles just closing down every single game pretty much. More valuable than Garrett Cole was to the Yankees. Garrett Cole should be snubbed again for the third time. I know Garrett Cole will win this award, but personally, I think Felix Bautista was more valuable to his team than Cole was. Moving on, we have the National League Cy Young, which should go to Spencer Strider. 280 plus strikeouts, 20-5 record. Blake Snell will probably win the award, but Blake Snell never pitched into the eighth, pitched into the seventh like twice or three times, I think. And obviously the Padres suck. So another thing where I believe team performance factors in. And that brings me to the American League MVP, which I think should go to Corey Seager. Now, obviously, Shohei Ohtani had one of the greatest seasons in MLB history, but he did not play the last month of September, and he was also on probably the worst team in baseball because of the amount of talent they have. The Los Angeles Angels have ruined the primes of Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. Ohtani needs to get out of there. He will win this year's MVP, but he is not. No, all right. You stay. I like how you're wearing your Red Sox thing. That's crazy. That is just insane. But anyways, Ohtani should not. I think I lost Ryan. That's not good. Ohtani should not win the MVP. Oh, Ryan's back. Perfect. Ohtani should not win the MVP. It should go to Corey Seager because of the Rangers' performance. Most valuable player should mean most valuable player. So moving on, that brings me to the the four-player race for National League MVP between two Dodgers teammates and two Braves teammates. Obviously, this award's going to Ronald Acuna Jr. because of his 40-70 season, but I believe Mookie Betts offered more versatility and more value and more consistency throughout the year that really helped the Dodgers get to that next step, which is also why I think the Dodgers will win the World Series this year. So I believe personally that Mookie Betts should win his second MVP. He has not won a National League MVP, but he would be one of the few players in MLB history to win both American and National League. Red Sox legend Mookie Betts is my pick for National League Most Valuable Player. Finally, to our Rookie of the Year discussions, here's another one. This isn't really a debate. It's Corbin Carroll and Gunnar Henderson. Josh Young would have won it had he not gotten injured and broken his hand back in July. Josh Young had a great season, is having a great season still, but Gunnar Henderson, that's his award, and Corbin Carroll, that's his. You can argue that Kodai Senga could win it in the National League, but no, he's on the Mets, and team factors into it. Not so much for Rookie of the Year, but definitely for the other awards. So with that being said, Corbin Carroll and Gunnar Henderson will be your National League and American League Rookie of the Year, and that wraps up my award races. Any thoughts on those?
I agree with a lot of that. I think I agree with all of it. I think I'm a little biased in saying Mookie should be the National League MVP. I think he deserves it. But at the end of the day, I feel like, yeah, they're going to give it to Acuna because, he hasn't done anything to not deserve it. And so I feel like he's been kind of a shoe-in all year and just the right option. I don't think you can go wrong giving it to either of them, but it's definitely going to be Acuna over Mookie, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And, unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Obviously, a historic season, but at the same time, we've seen 4 fantastic seasons all the way around. Whoever wins it, which I already have a feeling I know who's going to win it, but whoever does, it will be deserved. But unfortunately, we had 4 great seasons all in the same season. So more opportunities for them. Lastly, talking about baseball, and we'll wrap it up. 16 minutes in. Right, if you have postseason predictions, let me know. But right now, my postseason predictions, I already said Dodgers are winning the World Series over the Astros, and so I'll kind of just leave it at that. I don't know. I also have Philly beating Atlanta in the division series. I don't know why, but last year I had the Braves winning it all, and then they lose to the Phillies. Am I tripping there? The Phillies beat St. Louis wild card. Yeah. Then they go and no, they beat the Mets. Then they beat the Padres. The Padres beat the Braves, I believe, or the Mets beat. Well, now this is bugging me. Anyways, regardless, I said the Braves were going to win last year. They didn't, and they didn't impress me last year. I know it's a much better team this year, but I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna bet that both teams are filled with experience. I'm gonna bet on the more seasoned team, which is the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ryan, give me your thoughts.
I mean, I don't disagree with that at all. I could totally see the Dodgers going to the World Series this year and winning it all. Is it crazy to say that whoever comes out of the National League is going to win it all? Is that crazy to say?
Not at all. I believe that.
Yeah, so I think it's either going to be the Dodgers or the Braves. I don't really see anyone in the American League getting it done. I thought maybe the Rangers, but now I'm not even certain that they'll be there.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, I would like to make a correction now. So, Phillies did beat the Braves like I had thought. I thought I was tripping. I was like, there's no way. The Padres beat the Dodgers in the LDS. It was last year's postseason was cursed beyond belief. So, we'll just leave it at that. Obviously, if the Braves played the Astros last year in the World Series, the Astros weren't going to win. But they got the Phillies. So, there you go. With that being said, that kind of wraps up what I wanted to talk about in baseball, because it's been a while since we talked baseball, and this will be the second to last time we talk about it. I will talk, third to last time, into the World Series, and also when awards happen after the season, I will talk about that. Maybe some postseason updates and other things, but not very much. What I want to talk about now, and this is where NBA is coming back, and since the last time we talked, there has been huge moves. Dame is gone out of Portland. Drew is a Celtic. I mean, Ryan, this last week, give me your thoughts on the whole last week. It's crazy.
I'm a happy guy, to be honest with you. I am. Because, well, first of all, Damian Lillard to the Bucks was the most out of nowhere random thing I had seen in a while. You know, it really felt like he was going to either stay with the Blazers or go to Miami, and neither happened. And, you know, he said, okay, if, you know, the Miami thing isn't happening, I want to stay here in Portland. And I love that they did this. They said, no, you're not welcome here anymore. We're going to trade you. You wanted to be traded, so we're going to trade you. And you know what? They still ended up doing right by him, sending him to a contending team like the Bucks. They could have done a lot worse, and probably,
yeah.
Well, they still got a pretty good prize for him from the Bucks. But I like to see that they did right by him. But I also like to see that they stood up to him, saying, "Oh, I'll come back," because, you know, and I might get some heat for saying this. I'm very cautious, and I never want the players to have too much power over their organization, because I think that's bad. That's bad for the sport as well. So I like how that went down. I think that the Bucks obviously got a lot better, because I feel like the current team that they were running with was stagnating, and I think they had gotten as far as they could as that team was built. Now, Drew Holiday is going to be a massive loss for the Bucks. I don't know if they realize that or not, But I feel like Drew brings things to the team that Damian Lillard can't. And that is why, as a Celtics fan, I am very excited for him being on the Celtics. I hate that we lost Rob Williams. Losing Brogdon was unavoidable. He was going to be gone before the season started, no matter what. That relationship was beyond repair. I thought it could have been repaired, but just like how the Ray Allen trade fell through in 2011 or 2012, and he wasn't going to be able to come back after that. It's very difficult to trade a player, trade falls through, and you say, "Hey, my bad. Come on, let's play some games."
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
very difficult to come back from. I think that the conference finals is going to be Celtics Bucks. I like the Celtics in that series right now. Of course, that is a way too early prediction, and we're going to have to see how the season plays out.
Yeah, and is it crazy to think the Blazers won the trades? I know, obviously, the short run, Celtics won because Drew Holiday can stop Damian Lillard on offense, and that's where the Bucks messed up. They should have hedged to where no shot the Celtics have a chance of getting Drew, but they failed to do that, leaving the door open for Boston to take their beloved Drew Holiday. So short term, Celtics win that. The Bucks really lose the trade. I'm not even gonna lie. I love Damian Lillard's a hell of a player, one of the best players we've ever seen. They're not winning a championship with him. Him and Giannis just aren't gonna get it done, and I personally believe they have lost the trade because of that. They gave up 2 first-round picks, which are going to be valuable in 4 years when Giannis leaves and Lillard is in his mid to late 30s.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Blazers got Robert Williams, who's 25. Brogdon, who cares?
They're going to trade.
No offense. Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon's a hell of a player. He's not valuable in basketball anymore. He's kind of just a role player. But Robert Williams, who's 25 years old, they have a Warriors 2024 unprotected first-round pick, which they got. I don't even know how they got it. I don't know who
They
owned
got it
that
from the
pick.
Celtics.
They did. The Celtics own that pick. That pick could be valuable because Chris Paul and Stephen Curry are getting older, and they're both kind of injury-prone at this stage in their life. The Warriors might be a lottery team this year because that team just doesn't inspire me. So that potentially has top 10 written all over it. And they got that for Robert Williams. And then they have a 2029 Boston unprotected. That's probably going to be not worth very much. Mid-20s, maybe 30. Who knows? Do the Celtics win the championship in 2029? Not sure. But and they get a ton of second rounders. We've seen who's been drafted in the second round. So they have Scoot Henderson, DeAndre Ayton. They got Ayton out of that. I mean,
they look like a good team.
They're not winning many games this year, but give them time to gel. Give them 3 seasons. That's a playoff team. They have Shaded Sharp. They have Simons. I mean, Scoot's the best player in the draft. I'm a huge Wemby fan, obviously. Right now, Scoot's the most ready. So I don't know. Trailblazers won the trade. That's all I can say.
For the first time, certainly in the show's history, possibly in our history with each other, I agree 100% with you.
That's
rare.
crazy.
That is rare.
So I'm cooking. I'm cooking today. But
yeah, that's all I'm saying.
So let me not cook anymore, and I'm going to give you my top 10 best teams in basketball. I posted this on our Instagram page a few days ago. Ryan has seen that. Ryan probably hates the fact I have Boston 3 and Milwaukee 2, even though I think Boston's better set up for a championship. Why am I doing that? Because hype.
You're an asshole.
All right? That too. And
let's see, where is this?
you pull it up. I don't even have I don't even know why Philadelphia's in my top 10, honestly. They're not inspiring. Harden's not going to play for them. I'm looking over at this list. Denver 1, Milwaukee 2, Boston 3, Phoenix 4.
The top 4
Lakers
is easy.
5. Yeah. Cleveland 6. That's a high mover. Los Angeles 7. OKC's 10. 8 and 9 are Sacramento and Philadelphia. Those are, those can be replaced with anyone really. The NBA is rather balanced outside the top four, and to be fair, I don't even think Denver's my number one team anymore. So looking at it, I know they're champions, but it's just like Georgia. Just because they're champions, are you really going to keep ranking them number one?
When they have Nikola Jokic, yes, you are going to rank them number one.
I mean, it's fair, but we all seen Jokic hates being here, man. When is he gonna just?
He's got 5 more years in him.
When's the time he's just gonna show up one day to work and like, I quit?
I mean, he's 29. I promise you, he's not going to be playing past 36.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, it's crazy. Top 15 talent we've seen in NBA history, and he hates his. He doesn't hate his job probably, but it's just like if I were to go work at my job at Lifetime, my summer job, it's like, all right, let's get it over with, day in, day out, get my break,
Well, I don't think he gets it. He doesn't care about being a celebrity, and I feel like the United States is very, what's the word, celebrity-centric. We all care so much about chasing that and following fame and idols and everything like that. And he doesn't care about any of that. He just loves the game of basketball, plays it at the highest level, and then goes home to his horses.
Yeah, exactly. I feel bad for the horse that got to carry that, honestly. I ain't calling him fat, but he ain't little. So, but yeah, greatest player of one of the greatest players of our era treats basketball as a second job, really. It's ironic. So, I said we want to talk about basketball. That's really all I have. It was a busy week, but I feel like we covered it pretty quickly. Yeah. Oh, it was right in front of me the whole time. I saw, this is kind of off cuff here. I saw on, scrolling YouTube, watching YouTube shorts, because that's what I do. Everyone makes fun of me for it. I saw a poll in their prime. Who do you think was better, Dwayne Wade or James Harden? 82% voted Dwayne Wade. An absolute travesty of an opinion. It might be the worst group opinion. 322,000 people voted on it when I saw this last. 82% out of 322,000. So over 250,000 morons thought Dwayne Wade had a better prime than James Harden. Ryan, go ahead and set the record straight.
Well, let me preface it by saying that Dwayne Wade was no slouch. He was, especially before his injury, 05-06, he was phenomenal. He was incredible.
Yeah.
Both sides of the ball. I obviously didn't watch him back then, but I know ball. I'm familiar with his game. James Harden and what he did in Houston, Texas was the greatest, if not greater, offensive performance by a guard that we had seen since Michael Jeffrey Jordan. The numbers he put up, the stats across the board that he put up. I don't care about defense. He didn't need defense, and he still played pretty decent defense. It was just popular. Yeah,
he wasn't bad. Yeah, exactly.
I don't care about Russell Westbrook's triple-double average. James Harden was putting up 60 and 70-point performances on a nightly basis and winning. And putting his teammates in positions to win. The Houston Rockets organization failed him. He has one MVP. He should have had 2. And he should have had at least 1, maybe 2 championships. Chris Paul failed him. Daryl Morey failed him. That entire organization let him down. Poor Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight Howard's scapegoat for it all. But, in his 3-year prime, this is what he averaged from 2017 to 2020 in Houston before everything when it hit the fan. 34 points a game over a 3-year period. 34 points a game, 8 assists and 6 rebounds on 2 steals and a block per game, while shooting 36% from 3 and having an effective field goal percentage of over 54%. I mean,
that's in a league of its own.
if that's not one of the most dominant 3-year periods in NBA history, I don't know what is. And I know you have to give Harden the MVP or Westbrook the MVP during his triple double season because that was historic in itself. But you're right. He should have 2, maybe 3. He should have won MVP in all 3 of those years. Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
But, I mean, and he was a game away from taking Houston to the finals against the greatest team ever assembled outside of the Dream
Chris Paul
Team.
injury away.
And you have to put that Game 7 performance was pretty bad, missing that record 27 in a row. But besides and people put a huge asterisk by it. It's stupid. Like, one performance I know was the biggest game that he needed to win. It shouldn't diminish his greatness because of one game that they were probably not going to win anyways because Kevin Durant and Steph Curry were also at the peaks of their careers.
Yeah, and I want to talk about this for a second. I want to spend just a minute on this. I know our time is running short, but I hate this narrative that just because a player couldn't win the big one or go to the finals or this or that, that totally negates what they did with the ball, like what their performances were. So you could totally write off players like the one that comes to mind is Tracy McGrady. The only time he went to the finals was riding the bench with the Spurs in the twilight of his career, if you still want to say he had a career at that point. But
yeah,
Tracy McGrady was electric for years, and his body gave out on him. And then you look at players like, who else? Who else is up there? Patrick Ewing,
Charles Barkley,
James Harden right now, Charles Barkley. Most people know Charles Barkley on TNT, that he was insane. He was such an incredible player, but he didn't win a ring. And so everybody just totally casts him to the side when you're talking about great players, and it's ridiculous, and it is a tragedy. And I really hope that doesn't happen to Harden, because watching James Harden was absolutely special.
100%. And I feel like James Harden's best shot at getting a ring would probably be going to a team like going back to OKC. Will OKC give up players for him? Absolutely not. But I think his best chance is a place where he can be a number one option in the last probably year or two of his prime. Maybe
he can still go.
Miami would be a great spot for Harden because Miami doesn't have a true number one scorer. Jimmy Butler, as elite as he is in the postseason, he is still not the number one scorer because he's very inefficient from the 3-point line. And in this game in this era, you need to be efficient, and that's what James. I know we're always like, he's a shot chucker, but James, look at the stats, man. He's still shooting 38% in career from 3-point line. He's still one of the most efficient players in the game when he's on. I think a team like Miami could greatly benefit from him, and they might be able to get him on discount because he's probably going to hold out from starting the season in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. I definitely don't think he suits up for the Sixers this year, and thank God for that. That was a terrible. I mean, no, he definitely doesn't. Not especially after his latest antics. But I could see him. A Houston reunion would be pretty therapeutic for both sides. They have a lot of exciting young talent. There's a lot there to be excited about. And, maybe Harden could take them to the playoffs and kind of be a mentor for that young squad.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hate him being in Miami either. Jimmy Butler, I think he's a great leader, a great player on both sides of the ball. But, yeah, he doesn't have a 3-point shot. And he's not. I don't think he can be that go-to scorer that puts up 1 million points consistently. So I think that'd be a good fit as well.
Yeah, no, you're completely right. And the Rockets are missing Kevin Porter Jr. forever. I'm surprised he hasn't been put on the restricted list till he gets out of jail in 3 years. Pack watch. We'll smoke it. Anyways, moving on. I think we left it good. We did good there. We did right there. Moving on quickly. Let's talk about a little college football. This is a huge shift. Georgia, obviously, we've been saying this for weeks now, but Georgia's not the number one team in the nation.
Nope.
It really comes down to, do you favor do you favor good offense and good defense or bad offense and good defense? And so if you favor bad offense and good defense, then Michigan's your number one team. If you like both sides of the ball good, Texas is the best team in the country, okay? Ryan, go ahead and set the record straight yet again. I know I'm making you set the record straight all the way around. Tell us why Texas is the best team in the country.
Well, Texas is the best team in the country for several reasons. First of all, amazing coaching. They have the best offensive mind in football at the helm. You can ask any coach in the nation, and they'll say that Steve Sarkisian is the best play caller, the best schemer for the offense. They never know what is coming. But then we'll talk about the players on the field. Quinn Ewers is fantastic. He's finally displaying that arm talent that made him the highest recruited quarterback of all time, right? And he's making good decisions with the ball. He has a great offensive line protecting him, and they're going to get even better when Cole Hudson is back from injury. Then you turn to Jonathan Brooks, who has been incredible. He ran for 217 yards against Kansas in a very impressive performance. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, he's put up over 100 yards each game this year.
I think you're right.
Out of his mind. And then the receivers, Adonai Mitchell, Xavier Worthy, Jatavion Sanders at tight end, who is unfortunately going to be drafted behind. He'll probably stay, but he's being overshadowed by Bowers over at Georgia, who might be the best player in the nation. And then that defense is incredible. That defensive line is, come on. Defensive line is absurd. But I would allow people to put Michigan at 1. I personally would put Texas at 1, but I think we're going to find out a lot more about this team on Saturday when they go to Dallas to play Oklahoma. I'm a little nervous for that game as a Texas fan. I got to be honest with you, because that game doesn't make sense. OU could go in 0-5. We go in 5-0. Oklahoma could walk out with the win. Texas could go in 0-5 and walk out with the win against an undefeated Oklahoma team. Done it before. Well, maybe not all defeated, but yeah. You get the point. Anything can happen in that game. It's a weird game, but I think it's going to be a really good one. But long story short, yeah, I like Texas.
Yep, Texas 6.5 favorites on that game. Throw the lines out. Bet the over on over-under for points. It's going to be a shootout, as it's always been in the past, except for last year. That was a fluke last year. OU just sucked. Just not even for the name. They sucked last year. Yeah, but now they do. So we will see. And this is big implications for a Big 12 title game and potentially a playoff appearance for both teams, really, because they don't really play anyone else. Either team doesn't really play anyone impressive until they got to play each other again. So this is it.
Until Kansas State.
This is for the playoff. Yeah, and that's pretty sure that's even in Austin.
They're not. Yeah, and they're not on the level that Texas and OU are.
Yeah, so this is playoff. This is a playoff game, pretty much. They need to treat it as that. I want to move on. We also learned last week that USC is not as good as we thought. At least you've been saying that. So Ryan, I'll give you your flowers. You've been saying that. I was not convinced. I thought, and I know Colorado's have one of the best offenses in the country. They also have probably the worst defense in the country, and so does USC. So where do USC? I'm not going to bring up Colorado. Everyone's got enough of their Colorado. I love Dion, but where does USC sit in the top 3 in the Pac-12 with Washington and Oregon?
Well, I think strictly because of their offense, I think they're above Oregon. I think Washington is the number 1 team in the Pac-12, and that's simply because USC's offense or defense and Alex Grinch. Why does he have a job? Alex Grinch, what does he do?
I need to pull up that meme. What does he do?
That defense is embarrassing. That defense is the same terrible defense we saw at Oklahoma for years. He's buddies with Lincoln Riley, so he still has a job. But if USC had a defense, they would be number 1. They would be clear-cut title favorites.
Oh, yeah.
Because how do you stop Caleb Williams? You don't. You can only hope to contain him.
You score more.
Exactly.
That's how you stop him.
This defense is making him throw 6 touchdowns in a game and put up crazy points, which it's a good thing he can do that. But at one point, they're going to meet a team that actually has a defense and might put up more of a fight, and that's when they're going to fall into some issues.
Yeah. So, I was really high on USC to start off the year. Not as much anymore. My top 5, as we always bring our top 5s out every week, it's got to be Texas, Michigan, Washington 3. Honestly, I'm a Washington fan now. Penix Jr. is elite. I don't really know who to put 4 and 5, really. Florida State doesn't impress me. Ohio State, sure.
You got to put Ohio State there because there's no one else to put there.
Yeah. So, it goes, well, I put Georgia at 5. They did not play good at all. That was not a fun game to watch. It probably wasn't a fun game to be a fan of. Going neck and neck with Auburn, which arguably is the second worst team in the SEC, considering Missouri is now ranked for some reason. But, Georgia, do you still think Georgia are title contenders?
Yes, because of their defense and because they have just enough on offense to make it happen. I still think that they're in the hunt. Of course they're in the hunt. They're undefeated, but I don't think that they win. They might get there, but I don't know if I definitely don't think they win if they do.
Because what happens if they have to play a defense? If they match up against like USC or any
Texas?
really Pac-12 team, I'm saying if they match up with USC, they'll win strictly because their defense is good and USC's defense is horrible. But what happens when they play a legit defense like Michigan or like Texas? Then what happens? We go back to 2019 Sugar Bowl, 2020 Sugar Bowl. Really? So, I really think the national championship is going to be, it could be Michigan, Texas, which would be a huge throwback to the 2004 Rose Bowl. That would be something I enjoyed to watch.
I would like that a lot.
So that's really all I have there. Week 6 watch lists, obviously Texas, OU, LSU and Missouri have a mid-off going on. Alabama's going to lose in College Station this weekend. That's a hot take. They always do, it feels like. They lost last time they were there, and they're nowhere near as good. A&M is better than they were 2 years ago, and Alabama's significantly worse than they were 2 years ago. I would put a mortgage on A&M, really. And I hope I say that and curse them, because a loss for A&M is a win for America. But, besides that, there's really no other games to really look out for. Notre Dame and Louisville. They ranked Louisville just because they're playing top 10 Notre Dame. They got to push the narrative somehow. It's like what they did for Texas this weekend. Let's rank Kansas just because. And I don't think Kansas shouldn't even got punished. They should still be 25. They didn't have their QB, and they played the best team in the country. So shame on the committee for doing that to Kansas. Really, really pulling their leg. So that's it's always the narrative. Let's move on. Mm-hmm. Brian, go ahead. Why I load up things and tell us a little bit about your fantasy football experience for this week. Go ahead, share us your the face says it all already. We've posted it on our social media of a quick aftermath of what he looked like after he lost by 0.5. Thoughts?
So I was in a close matchup this week. I had a lot of really good performers. 38 points from A.J. Brown, 15 points from Devontae Adams, 15 points from Adam Thielen, 11 from Butker. My team was very well-rounded this week. Pitts did nothing. I needed 8 total points from Daniel Jones. Surely
he got there.
Well, I needed 8 total points going into the night, and then their kicker. He had the Seahawks kicker, and Jason Myers gave him 5 points, so I needed 11 total points.
Surely.
In the third quarter, Daniel Jones had 10 points. There's a quarter and a half left to be played. That's easy. He's got that. It's totally fine. Got it in the bag. I'm feeling good. 2 interceptions, 1 lost fumble. Just misses left and right. He got sacked 11 times. How do you let your quarterback get sacked 11 times? Anyway, he finished with 10.72 points, and I lost by half a point. So now I fall to 2-2 instead of 3-1. And you know what, man? That was pretty demoralizing. That might be the most demoralizing loss I've ever had, and I've played fantasy football for a very long time.
It sent you straight to bed, man.
It did. I went to bed.
Oh, man.
Come on.
I just thought that was the funniest thing ever when you sent me that snap last night. I was laughing for probably about 30 minutes.
Glad you had fun.
So, obviously, my team won, as per usual. I'm running the table again. You know, whatever. That's just what I do. What do I want to... The Dolphins looked bad. And that's not something I expected. I didn't throw it out, but I didn't expect it. Why did the Dolphins look so bad?
Because the Bills are really good. I think
that's
really what it comes to. I think that's what it comes down to. I think that they're both still phenomenal teams, but I'm really high on the Bills.
You would have them over the Dolphins when it comes down to it?
I feel like they're more well-rounded. I feel like the Dolphins are, the most explosive team, but I think that the Bills started out slow, but I think Josh Allen is phenomenal. You know, you got Stephon Diggs. You got a lot of players. I don't know. I like the Bills. Give me the Bills.
I know you like the Bills over the Dolphins to start the season, but then we saw how the Dolphins came out the gate, and we were kind of... Do we see the Dolphins continuing this trend of just bad defense, or I mean, they play the Giants next week, so I mean, it can't get worse, obviously.
No, it can't get worse. I don't know. I'll be very interested to see what happens when the Dolphins play another legitimate contender.
I mean, the next time they have that is the Eagles in a few weeks.
We'll learn what this team is that week.
And that could be a Super Bowl preview. Thoughts? Maybe.
Well, it depends on how that game goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
We're not talking about the Patriots.
No. And, the Rams look good. I'll just say that. The Rams almost blew a lead. You know who really blew a lead? The Bears. And that might have been the most upsetting game to watch. And I wasn't even a fan of the Bears. I was like, the Bears look good, man. Justin Fields on his game. Like, Broncos country, it's over. No, I was wrong. Sean Payton masterclass, as per usual.
You know, my poor friend, Dan, shout out Dan, friend of the show, is a big Bears fan. He's from Chicago. He's from Illinois, and he came over to my apartment immediately after the game ended, and I felt so, I normally talk a lot of shit. I normally make a lot of jokes. It just felt bad. I just felt wrong. I just looked at him and said, I'm sorry, man. Because that is just failure. Just top to bottom failure. Are you kidding me? What an embarrassment.
Was that 24 unanswered, right?
Yeah.
And 17 of that was in the fourth quarter. The Bears want Caleb Williams, but Caleb Williams does not want the Bears, guys. So, Caleb Williams will be attending the University of Southern California for one more season, calling it now. So, he'll three-peat his Heisman. But, I mean, goodness. And we already knew that was going to be the mid-off of the century but I didn't realize it was going to be that bad. Like, talk about a team that just didn't want to win, and that's the Chicago Bears.
It's crazy.
I mean, it's ridiculous. But I mean, Justin Fields needs help, but Justin Fields needs to help himself first. Speaking of help, Bijan Robinson needs help. All right, Bijan Robinson has already shown he's the best running back in football in the world right now. 14 carries, 105 yards. Atlanta just is a bad team, though. I mean, there's no way you lose to the Jaguars like that. Overseas,
Desmond Ritter's a clown.
Yeah, free Kyle Pitts.
Oh my God.
Maybe the Falcons need the tank to get Caleb Williams. Honestly.
The Falcons need they need a quarterback, obviously, because Desmond Ridder sucks. But you have a phenomenal tight end. I think that if he actually passed him the ball, Kyle Pitts would be one of the top tight ends in the league.
Oh, yeah.
I think
100%.
he would be. But he's getting like 2 targets a game. Are they allergic to him?
It's not a problem of him not getting open. I've seen film. We've all seen film. He's open. He's just not getting the ball thrown to him. I don't know if Ridder and Pitts are fighting or something. Like, what's up? But yeah, you're right. I mean,
This is his 3rd year in the league. He's got 3 total touchdowns receiving.
That's just ridiculous, man. That's just a shame. One of the best tight ends in the world, and Titans. The Falcons doing him wrong. So, and they owe him a huge apology, for sure. And I issued an apology last weekend to Cleveland Brown fans. I would like to rescind that because I am sorry for absolutely nothing about my assessment of the Cleveland Browns. I knew they were a fluke team. I don't care that Deshaun Watson wasn't playing. They suck, all right? I'm just saying. I hate the Browns. They suck. They're no good. Apology rescinded. My one friend who listens, friend of the show, who's a Browns fan, I know he's going to comment on it. I'm not sorry, and I will never apologize for hating the Browns. So, I mean, that's just how it is, all right? I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for not being sorry.
Fair enough.
And lastly, I do have to talk about the Patriots a little bit because the Cowboys looked legit again. And the Cowboys are the most confusing team in the country because how do you lose to the Cardinals and then go and dominate the Patriots like that is beyond me. I mean, obviously the Patriots suck, but they don't suck as bad as the Cardinals. And I know Ryan's holding back tears over there. So Ryan, go ahead and give me your analysis. A little bit on the game, a little bit on the Cowboys, and then you can finish us off on the show about the Patriots as you kind of just dwindle into self-despair. So go ahead.
Where do I start? Do I start with the fact that Bill Belichick has let the game pass him by? Or do I go on to, well, I don't think it's all Mac Jones' fault. I think Mac Jones is one of the smarter quarterbacks in the league. I don't think his arm strength is there. I don't think he necessarily has the tools to be the guy, but I think he has the brain to be the guy. But that being said, I mean, they're getting no offensive production at all. The receivers suck. The tight ends are fine. That's it. Running backs. Ramondre Stevenson has disappeared. Ezekiel Elliott got the starter reps. That was weird. Wow. The defense, the 2 bright spots in the defense, Matt Judon and Christian Gonzalez, who should have been Rookie of the Year, are now out for extended amounts of time. Judon is going to be gone for a while, and we might not see Gonzalez until December because he has a torn labrum. But it's just really disastrous. A lot of things went right for the Cowboys, and the Patriots beat themselves. I think that let's just call it what it is. We have finally seen enough. The sample size is big enough. The Patriots suck. They're a bad team. They're losers. I don't know what's going on. I don't know as an organization what we're doing. You know, and I was talking to my friend about this morning, Julian, friend of the show. what do you do? Your two best defensive players are out for a long time. Your offense already sucks. Your schedule's not getting easier. So you tank. Get a high pick. Maybe you get Caleb Williams.
Nope.
Or maybe you get one of the best receivers from Ohio State.
You need a receiver.
Right? But no, we're not going to do that because Belichick won't tank. So we're going to finish 8-9, get like a 20 pick, and that does nothing because the Patriots suck at evaluating talent and drafting. You got lucky with Tom Brady.
I mean, the Patriots aren't going 8-9, man. I mean, it's just they got.
No, we're going 5-12, man.
There you go. How about there? That's it's
terrible.
They'll beat the Broncos. Maybe.
Do you like the current state of the defense against Russell Wilson?
I like anyone's defense against Russell Wilson at this point, except the Bears, obviously.
I disagree. I think Wilson's got it. Anyway, yeah, so that's my plight. Let's see what happens, Celtics, because everyone else has let me down this year.
Yeah, Bruins maybe. We'll talk about hockey later. Soon.
The Bruins are a playoff team. I don't think they're going to go to the Cup.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams in front. Don't worry. St. Louis don't look too good either. Besides that, I mean, obviously we have going back to football real fast just to end it off. I think the Niners are the best team in football, followed by the Eagles. After that, Dolphins. If the Dolphins look like that again against a good team, then I don't know where I put the Dolphins. So I'll put Dolphins 3 for now, Bills 4. Even though Bills just beat the Dolphins, I'm still gonna. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe it wasn't. So
Chiefs
besides
5?
that, it's anyone's game. Who's 5? Chiefs? Yeah, sure. Because Patrick Mahomes is the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. Tom Brady is the greatest winner. Patrick Mahomes is the complete package in a quarterback. Obviously, no one, unless somehow Mahomes wins, what? He needs 5 more? 6?
I don't think Mahomes will have a better career, but I think he's obvious. I mean, it's obvious he's the far better talent.
Yeah. It ultimately
like
comes
if you
up
listen to these Tom Brady interviews, he's a f***ing psycho. Tom Brady was addicted to winning. He was obsessed with it. Have you seen those clips from that interview he gave recently? He talked about his mentality going into games in the sickest way I've ever heard. Completely different from anything else I've ever heard a professional athlete talk about.
All right, we'll roll the clip right now, and then you can send it to me, and I'll play the clip on the, and then I guess I'll talk about that later afterwards, but yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah, Brady, psycho, kind of like Kobe and MJ levels of
exactly
competitiveness.
Like exactly.
And that's why he's the greatest. That's why he's the greatest winner in all sports. No disrespect to Bill Russell, but Brady winning 7 in this era, no one's doing it again. I mean, no one in any sport's doing that ever again. So
nope.
I mean, so yeah, Brady's the GOAT, and we already knew that. The sky is blue. Well, it's actually gray out right now. We're about to get storms here, but yeah. So, Brian,
all right,
you opened us. Go ahead and close us.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Thank You, Bro.
Thank you, bro.
Saved it. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the episode. If you made it this far, be sure to like, comment, subscribe for more of the content that you love and we love to provide for you. So, we'll see you back next week. Hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday or whenever you're listening to this. And we'll be back with more fun takes later on. Goodbye.
All right, y'all take care.